everyone, and welcome to Sunday School. It's so great to have you join us this morning. Today we're continuing to talk about the armor of God. Each week we've been looking at all these different pieces of armor that we can wear. From the belt of truth to the breastplate of righteousness. And today we're going to talk about shoes. And when we put all this armor of God, when we have God's truth and peace and love, we can get through anything, any challenge that we might face in life. And so today is about fitted feet. Shoes help us to be ready for different activities. They protect our feet from rain and snow, and special shoes give us support for specific tasks like running or climbing rocks. God also has special shoes for us to wear. So Ephesians 6:15 tells us to have our feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. So that's kind of a long one this week, but will you join me in saying our focus verse for today? Ephesians 6:15 tells us to have our feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. These shoes help us be ready to share God's love and peace. And so we're going to look at a story today about when Jesus calms the storm and see what that means for us, about how Jesus brings peace into our lives. So let's take a listen into our story today.
Hi everybody. Today I'm going to read to you from our preschool beginner's Bible, Jesus Calms the Storm. It's from Matthew chapter 8 verses 23 through 27. If you want to read along, it's page 334 of your children's Bible. Jesus and his disciples got into a boat. They wanted to cross the sea. Jesus took a nap. The waves gently rocked the boat back and forth. Suddenly, a great storm came up. Waves splashed over the boat. Winds whipped around the disciples. They woke Jesus up and shouted, "The boat is sinking! Don't you care?" Jesus asked, "Why are you so afraid? Don't you have any faith at all?" Then Jesus told the storm to stop. Right away, it was calm. The disciples were amazed. They said to each other, "Who is this man, Jesus? Even the wind and the waves obey him."
So we just heard our Bible story today about when Jesus calms the storm, how the disciples were in this boat, and then there were big waves and this big storm that came. And so they asked Jesus for help, and Jesus comes and says to be still, and he calms the waves and the storm. And so the story shows us that Jesus brings peace into our lives, that whenever we are in a storm, when something difficult might be happening or whatever's going on in life, Jesus comes and brings peace into our lives. And sometimes that means then, like in this story, that the storm goes away, that Jesus calms the storm. But sometimes that means that Jesus just gives us the courage and the love and support to get through whatever it is that we're going through. So in this last year even, we faced several challenges, right? We did school at home, which was different. We went back to school in person, and that looked a bit different, and so there were many challenges. But we can know that each morning we put on the shoes of peace that God gives us. And we can know whenever we're walking through life, through anything challenging, God is right there to bring peace and courage and love and comfort. So that we know that we can wear the shoes of peace, that God brings peace into our lives to face anything that might be difficult. So the Bible tells us in Ephesians 6:15 to have our feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. So from this part of God's armor, we've learned that Jesus brings peace into our lives. And when we have peace, it's easier to tell others about God's peace. That we can share that with others. That we can be ready to tell others about God's peace. So let's have a peaceful prayer and pray silently and ask God to help you have peace in your own life so that you can be ready to tell others about God's peace and love. And then in a few moments, I will end our prayer time together. So let's join in a silent prayer. Dear God, thank you for today's story and reminding us that you bring peace into our lives whenever we face a storm in life. Thank you for showing us love and peace and help us to share that with others. Amen. So there is an activity linked below that you can do after this video. And then also if you would comment or like on the video so that we can continue to stay connected virtually. It just helps us to know who's joining us for Sunday school each week and to say hello to each other. So thank you so much for joining us today. Next week we'll be talking about the shield of faith. And we hope to see you then. Bye!